All right. You are a hard man to get in contact with. That you are going to be the first in this series, so we may have some little road bumps along the way. But I'd love to hear your story. So I guess we'll just start out with the what. From the first interaction. What happened, man?
Oh, it's sort of a weird situation as far as, it's a weird story that basically, I don't know, it's probably like 10 years ago. I went to a friend's house, or it's a friend of a friend's house. Someone I didn't know that well, but yeah, I saw something very odd as far as someone basically, changed into something else. As weird as that sounds.
But before we get into it, was there anything that was like, I'm going to look at you like this actually, because I can't see you over there. Was there anything weird going on in your life before this event, or what's the lead up to this?
Yeah. I mean, I had, I don't know, it was probably like 3 years after I had this seizure in senior year. So senior year, I had a seizure, ended up some serious medical problems for a few years. And from there, it was like, 3 or 4 years later when this happened. But, it's sort of an interesting life, I guess, to some degree, but mostly just because I was sick a lot, like, I had a lot of, health problems, but nothing like cancer or anything. But anyway, from there, basically, it was probably like 4 years out of high school or something when this happened. I hadn't really done anything as far as college at the time. I was just, hanging out and smoking weed and stuff.
So were you alone? What happened?
Oh, no, it was gone to a friend's house. So a friend to a friend's house, and walked into their room, and there was a few people like sort of knew there. It's hard to remember because of how shocking it was to some degree. But so then basically someone, I don't know if I was alone with one person I didn't know that well, or with a couple people I knew and with someone that I didn't know. But then someone, basically changed into something else. Something almost sounds outrageous, but
no, no, don't worry about
there's
that.
a lot of talk about stuff nowadays. But yeah.
Dude, I think we live in a crazy timeline. Like, I really, that's why I'm doing this, is because I think personally I've had weird encounters too, where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened. That's why I'm trying to do this, is connect with.
I have a friend, that's talks about not the similar thing, but talking about seeing something about that.
So that's interesting. So everything's normal. This, from what I'm understanding, everything's normal. Going over to a friend's house, you enter into a room.
To smoke weed, and I've got, I'm a little sick from. I had a series of health problems. I started with senior year when I had that seizure and stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah, pretty normal. Just going over to hang out and stuff. Yeah.
So someone changes in front of you. That's interesting.
Yeah, I've heard of other people talk about something that, basically.
Oh shit! Fuck, man. All right. We're gonna go to the backup real quick. I got a webcam.
Fucking guy.
Let's restart where we're going. Going up to a friend's house, enter into a room. Everything's normal. No weird vibes or nothing.
To hang out. I mean, it's a little weird because it looks like people are just standing there. I don't know. Obviously, it's hard. What happened was so shocking that it just became mainly what I remember is that moment. More than the lead up. I remember the lead up, but once that happened, that thing wouldn't. Before that didn't exist. So it was shocking enough to where it's hard to remember if anyone else was in the room or if they. I know people were in the room, but I don't know who they were because suddenly that's like blinding or whatever.
Okay, so like a blinding white light. Like,
if you imagine just all of a sudden seeing like something that's completely alien or whatever, out of the ordinary.
Okay. What did it look like?
So almost like a blob type thing. It's like if it was a person, just a regular person, and then turned into like a T-1000 type thing. Like something that's like just sort of weird, gooey. I don't know, something like that. It's hard to explain.
What was it, formless or you have
formless to some degree? Like I think it moved around to slight different forms or something.
Okay, so usually when I hear people have these encounters, the kind of the usual go to is the Greys and the reptilians.
It's something that, I've watched a lot of stuff about that. All sorts. I watched some of the stuff on your channel, but also just a lot of documentaries and stuff. And it's something. It's not like a normal just gray alien like that. It's something weird, sort of more. Like I think I've heard Billy Corgan talk about. From Smashing Pumpkins, he's talked about seeing something transform in front of him or something. So, but I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So, was it giving you like life form vibes, or was it more like maybe
Maybe
this is
almost like a threat. It was, it was shocking and threatening, maybe, but I didn't feel like I was going to get hurt. But it was like suddenly this thing, like, not human or whatever. And I didn't hurt me besides just being so shocking and stuff. And obviously has some sort of ability that we don't have. Whatever.
Yeah, yes, psyops and stuff. I mean, I figure.
Right.
So what happened after that?
Oh, I think I was shocked so much that I think it went back to normal. As far as I remember, it went back to just a normal person, and then I just kind of I think it was maybe smoked a hit of cannabis, and then just walked. Said I got to go early or whatever, because it was shocking to the point where it's like, this is so abnormal.
Okay, so yeah, you're saying there's people in the room. Do you feel like you were taken out of the timeline or something? Like you were?
It's something changed all of reality just in that moment, because before that I wasn't thinking, even didn't think aliens existed. Really. I knew it was a potential, whatever, but it's not something I was really expecting to happen at all.
I get you. So
it was about to certainly change my idea of reality, but it's something that.
What happened after that? I mean, does life go on as normal? Do you feel sick?
Oh, I've had a series of health issues. I was doing really well for like the last 5 years. Some mental health issues as well, probably caused by the physical health issues or whatever. But also, so the last 5-7 years, I've been doing really well. Going to school. I got almost next year I get my philosophy degree and working and stuff like that. But the last month I got robbed in Vegas. And then I ended up losing my car and stuff. And then I got COVID. So now I'm recovering from that.
Bro, I lost my car in Vegas too. We share that.
Okay.
Fuck that place.
Yeah. I'm probably going back, but not to lose my car.
Yeah. Too many people in the desert. All right. So I guess, yeah, I want to try and visualize this a little more so that we can kind of get.
I don't even remember exactly where it's at as far as Northern California. I'm in Southern California now, but it's something I've got a pretty good visual of it in my mind to some degree.
So did you tell your friends, or did they?
I've told a few people. I told someone on Facebook recently. I've told some family. Told a few people, and to some degree, it was hard for me to believe that it happened, because it was everything is besides having health issues and stuff, everything was normal. So to a large degree, everything was normal. Stuff's going on in the world and stuff, but that was just such a almost dreamlike experience, because it doesn't something that happen every day.
Yeah, the person whose face morphed. Did you know them?
The whole body, yeah, or maybe even just the top half of the body. Yeah, I don't remember if I know there was people in the room that I knew. I think so, knew him a little bit. I mean, but there was some people I didn't know. But something that's so shocking to the degree that it's hard to remember exactly who was there, besides seeing something that changed everything or whatever.
I totally get that. And that's what I hear a lot from people too, is when you have those experiences, you think
shocking.
You're like, pull out your phone and record and stuff. But the truth is like, if you aren't expecting some big shit to happen, you aren't ready, And,
whatever comes in play as far as, whatever this creature, alien thing decided to do this, it's a weird other situation as far as that goes, because this thing, decided to do this or something.
Did it feel like there was a purpose to this at all, or was it feel like it was just a random encounter?
It was certainly a purpose, as far as it was in a house and it was deliberately. I'm sure they deliberately, whatever. It's such a bizarre thing, but it seems like it was deliberate for sure. I don't think it was. This thing is probably largely, whether it had different abilities, probably super intelligent. Right?
Yeah. So I'm sorry, you didn't know the person that you saw.
I don't think I knew the person that it morphed. I knew there were people in the room that I didn't know, and some people that I knew a little bit. Yeah.
Did you ever talk to the person who you saw get morphed?
I don't think so, because I don't even remember who it was, because suddenly they're a different thing or whatever. But I talked to some other people that were there, but no one I knew has ever mentioned anything about it besides me, which is weird. But I didn't know the other people that well.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a mind altercation rather than a physical kind of like manifestation.
It's true that to some degree they could be projecting something. I don't know what the logistics of something, whatever. But it looked like it was physically in the room for sure happening. But there's all sorts of different ways something like that could be projected or whatever, I guess. But
if there was one feature that stuck out the most, what was it? Like the eyes, the head?
There was no features as far as like it turned into like a Spider-Man 3, that thing from space or whatever, like that. Like it was just like a blob going, I don't know, like if you see T-1000 at the end of Terminator 2, when he's like split apart and just like, or
I'll put photos on the video. I'm trying to remember.
Almost like a Venom type thing, like from the new Venom movie, where it looks like it's just a weird black blob type thing, basically. But it's I don't know, it's coming out like that, sort of like. It's pretty bizarre. I could maybe try to draw it at some point or something. I'm not a drawer, but
that's perfect. Fine. Actually, do you have like a piece of paper around you, or something? It's okay, sure. Even if it's like shit drawing, it's good because what if I talk to someone else? Yeah, go ahead and draw like a police sketch if you could. That help me kind of figure out what we're dealing with. It's certainly interesting to hear the kind of formlessness of it.
It's sort of, and it was also changing while I was watching it. It wasn't just like one form type, but it was similar. I'll try to see what I can do.
Have you ever done any sort of like heavy psychedelics, like DMT?
Oh, a little bit, not really. I've done mushrooms a couple times, and smoked a lot of weed, but never to the point of really hallucinating.
Oh yeah,
I've hallucinated I think the only time I hallucinated is on mushrooms. And one day I was like up all day, all night or something.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I've taken stuff like ayahuasca and DMT.
Well, that's what it sounds like. It's something that's like a hallucination, or as far as the weirdness of it.
Because like when I took those and I saw entities like on ayahuasca, they was like that. Their face would like morph. It wouldn't be just
when I was on mushrooms, I did see like people I saw look like a completely different creature, but that was just on mushrooms. But this was, I was just smoking weed and I was at a high tolerance at the time.
So pretty much sober. We've all smoked weed every day. It's pretty much sober.
Yeah.
How long do you think it lasted? Just a couple seconds, or was there?
I think it was only like a short moment, like a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds or something, because it was just like a brief, like, weird, like shocking moment or whatever.
Huh.
And then suddenly everything was relatively back to normal. I don't remember exactly if it had like the bottom legs of the person, but it might have. But I think I looked up towards the top of it because it was really tall. So
yeah,
and it was one of the, generally something that's so shocking you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. If something's giant, you're gonna look it up first.
Yeah. So I'll keep out the legs for. I think there might have been legs, regular legs, but that's hard to remember. As close as you can get. You don't got to worry about being too detailed. I just want to make sure that if I talk to someone else and they have a similar experience, I can maybe use you as I talked to this other guy and he has something just like that happen. Does this image look similar? Because there's sometimes some parallels. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's fascinating. Something it's really scary at the time. Like it changed. But I didn't feel threatened with it. But it was more just like horrific as far as what had happened, but not in a threatening way. Really,
it was more scary because it was like unknown, right?
Yeah, it's like you're seeing something that's impossible.
All right.
This is funny. The image itself is going to look almost just like doesn't make much sense as far as, but mainly because I'm a bad drawer, but also it's it's a weird looking thing. So
yeah, that's perfectly fine, man. You're just trying to get your story out. I wish these things only chose like photographers and great artists. That would be convenient.
Yeah, they almost make sure that I'd imagine they make sure that it's not easy to track them. Not able to make sure it's provable. They're not going to. There's never any clear pictures of it.
Yeah. There's always a stereotype of like hillbillies in the mountain, always seeing UFOs. And it's like, shit, man, if I needed research done, that's where I'd get my people from. I go to Appalachia and just pick the crazies.
There's only so many actual clear UFO sightings, and there's like no real clear pictures of aliens to some degree.
Yeah, yeah, none that I found. I mean, shit, I might have seen them, but you never know nowadays because you got CGI and shit. So it's like, what do I know?
I've seen all sorts of documentaries about all the different theories, conspiracy theories about it and stuff. But it's interesting. It took some time to actually come to terms with it because I almost just thought it was, it didn't happen because it was so out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, shit, it might have just been something random.
Oh yeah, some you might play tricks on you, whatever. So out of the ordinary and not really provable to large. But a lot of time based on stories that people can, the first perspective or whatever, first person.
More I learn about history, and the more I learn about humankind, I realize that history is kind of written by the victors, and we probably got fed a lot of bullshit by people that didn't get to leave their story behind.
There's a lot of hidden history probably. Again, this is very, very crappy drawing. Doesn't even represent it very well, but it's an idea of what it is. Sort of you gotta imagine it's like 9 feet tall, 8 feet tall. I don't know how tall a normal house is, but maybe actually the room might have been 9 feet or something. But yeah. Something like this, almost, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but basically imagine this would be a regular person, just would have been right there, and then turns into something like that, but it's also moving.
Was it like a metallic color? Or was it
sort of a dark metallic color, I think.
Interesting.
Like a black metallic color, almost. Yeah.
So you weren't getting like a sentience out of this. It was almost like, was it? Oh,
it was definitely very intelligent. Like it was definitely conscious, probably ways aware of something more than I'm aware of, but at the same time it was threatening, but I had nothing bad happen besides just, changing ideas of that thing existing or whatever.
So that person that was in that, what kind of vibes did you get from them? I mean, surely you must have been looking at them like
they were just regular people. The people I was with were sort of we just got out of high school. We didn't have much going on, but we were just smoked a lot of weed and stuff. So they weren't like particularly like educated or whatever. But I didn't know this person really. I don't think at all. But once it happened, I think I was just pretty much silent after that because it's like my first responses just didn't happen. Or my mind was just, shocked by it.
Yeah. So what happens after the fact? Anything else, or you have dreams? You got?
Oh, I've always had some, I've had a lot of bad dreams all the time since I was a kid and stuff. I've seen another sort of weird situation where it was a person that sort of changed their skin color, but that was the only other thing I've seen.
Yeah, well, tell me about that. What's going on?
I was at a bar. I think it was in Vegas. More recently, it was like the last couple of years or something. It was a small little bar, and I was just sitting there drinking with some guy, and we were just playing poker machines or something, smoking a cigarette or something. Look across the bar, and some guy's just drinking a beer or something like that. And his skin color changes. He's a white guy with a little bit of a tan. And then his skin color changes to basically a black guy. And then, after a short time, it turned into, regular white skin. And then, it was everything else was normal besides that. It was just hanging out in the bar. But that was a clear thing. I was like, I looked at it. It wouldn't happen so fast. And it was so less shocking to the degree, where I could actually just process it easier. And so I was just looking at the guy, and it was like, this guy's skin is just darker now. Completely. It definitely wasn't the lighting because it wasn't no moving lights or anything, but it was, I just saw the guy just drinking a beer and talking to the bartender or something. And then he just, changed his skin color and then changed it back. It's pretty weird. But
you've actually had 2 encounters where you're going about your normal day and then visually something changes. Any other of your senses going off? Smell, like hearing?
I'm just that time I was just enjoying some drinks and, winning a little bit of money and stuff. And then I just look over to this guy and I'm like, just a regular guy, and then his skin just changes colors and then changes back.
Interesting.
And it was only between, natural colors of our skin or whatever.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Okay. Because here's what
this guy at all. He just walked into the bar.
That's what I'm seeing is that you've got 2 different encounters where it's someone you don't know, Visually changing. No other of your senses are going off. You don't smell nothing. You don't hear nothing. It's just the
And
viz.
I've read, right, exactly. Yeah. And I've read books about, alien encounters, like Childhood's End, and a couple of, I've seen a lot of movies about it and stuff, but, I get to the idea that they're, if they're going to do something, whatever happens with, if they did something like this, it would be, they would be very aware of all the particulars to make sure it didn't get, didn't cause some sort of crazy, massive sighting or something, or, some degree to be so intelligent that it would be planning ahead, all the possible, ways it would get caught or whatever, I mean?
Where I'm thinking when I hear this and some of these other stories that are like that, like this cat here, completely different visual range than what I got. I see like
we almost can't even tell what they see and stuff. Yeah.
So I got to ask you, you ever get your eyes checked? Do you have like sort of
my eyes are very good actually. Ears are a little off, but my eyes are like 20/20 or even a little bit, maybe a little better.
Do you ever feel like you can see more colors than normal people? Like you have a bigger visual range?
No. I had a friend who has what's called color blindness, but my vision's pretty much normal.
This is why I like doing this, is because you're coming off as a very honest guy. You're coming off as like a super.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to make something up that's sounds cool or something.
yeah. And I like that. I like that you're being honest with what you don't know, and you're just telling like that this is what I experienced. That's kind of what's important. If we're ever going to figure out what's going on, we all need to like just keep an open mind and be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum as far as people talking about a lot of stuff like this. People in Tom DeLonge and stuff. I saw on your YouTube you talked about Tom DeLonge and all sorts of people that are talking about it now.
I got a love-hate relationship with Tommy. Yeah, Tom and I got big love.
My brother knew him in high school. Like he went to school with Blink-182. Yeah.
Oh, he went to fucking Bobby Lee went to that school. Yeah,
really?
Bobby Lee
that's
went
funny.
to.
I wonder if at the same time.
I know. I think Bobby Lee's 50, dude.
Right. I'm in San Diego right now, so it's similar. It's like I'm like 30 miles from Poway, whatever. But yeah.
Tom's an interesting case. He's a
little bit of a he's entertaining with what he does too at the same time, rather than all about facts, I think. But
the people that do go through these experiences aren't going to come out like sergeants in the military. I think opening Pandora's box is going to fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah, he seems to really know something major, and he talks about a lot of it. But for all we know, he knows even more or whatever. But
okay,
I believe what Tom DeLonge's saying for the most part. Like it's but whether or not it's still hard to really conclusively prove any of this stuff. But
yeah, personally, I don't trust anyone, but I'm not going to discount someone if I don't have a reason,
Because people, there definitely are people making up stories and stuff.
Yeah, so you got to kind of just keep an open mind and find the similarities across the spectrum. So real quick, just so I have the story right, going over, normally just hanging out with people, get into a room, kind of know some of the people there, but you don't know the person. They visually change into something that looks like intelligent, dark void or dark matter, something like that.
It says something like that. Yeah.
And not humanoid, not human. Like we're not a gray or a reptilian like what we're used to.
Oh yeah, definitely not like a regular body. No, it was limbs were gone mostly. It was just like a weird sort of creature type or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
How's your life now, man? Do you think about this a lot, or do you just kind of live with it?
Oh, I thought about it a lot. Like to some degree, I moved on and just because I was like, whatever. It's odd, very odd experience. But then people started talking about a lot of stuff like that a lot more recently. Otherwise, I've been going to school and just working. Last month, I had like health problems and stuff, with like COVID and stuff like that. So and then when I got conned in Vegas, someone took my identity from there. So
yeah.
But otherwise, I'm doing pretty good now. I'm going to probably go to film school if I can get a loan or something. And right now, tomorrow I start school to get my last semester before getting my degree and stuff.
Before we get out of here today, in just today's news, I'll ask everyone at the end here, what's your thoughts about what's going on? If you have you done in your own independent
in general, or with like in relation to what we're talking about here?
Yeah. What just
there's some
don't worry about facts. Give me
right.
your gut. What's up?
There's definitely I've watched the David Icke stuff and Ike or whatever, and I've watched stuff with Tom DeLonge and Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's got a lot of stuff like that. And, there's people that are really respectable people, scientists, and people that are basically backing up that there's something going on as far as otherworldly interactions or whatever. Who knows as far as government knowing or even working together, or if there's even the idea that the government's just planning out to make it look like there's aliens or something. But
blue beam shit. I get you.
Right. So but I think there's what I've seen happening, with coincidences happening and weird events that are, just, it would seem like there are aliens, but, based on what I've seen as well, but based on a lot of, and some of it sounds outrageous, what I've heard, but then I try to wrap up to what I've seen myself, and, that sounds pretty outrageous too. But
bro, if you took me back 200 fucking years and you told them I could travel on land 2,000 miles in less than 24 hours, they would go, that's a fucking lie. And,
it's true,
but I do that on the reg. So our basis of reality changes.
We're constantly, just, getting a better idea of what reality is. I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So, I appreciate you coming on here and being my first guest. Unfortunately, I think my Zoom is not going to let me record anymore unless I got to pay for Pro. It only gives me the 20 minutes.
What was that, like 20 minutes or something?
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes or something dumb like that. And it already gave me the warning.
Okay.
So is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap up here? Any last words?
Oh, not particularly. I'll try to figure out a better way to represent what I saw, maybe. But otherwise, try to explain it best I can.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I coming on here and being honest is all I ask of anyone, and I appreciate that, man. I hope school goes well, and so does your YouTube.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you as well. All right. Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, peace out, man.
Well, thanks.